He laughed at my dreams. It wasn't a small laugh, it was loud, the kind that makes a room shrink, makes everyone else lean in and nod like they agreed. I was 16, clutching my sketchbook to my chest, showing him my designs for a fashion collection I'd been working on for months. I thought he'd understand. I thought he'd see the passion, the late nights, the endless hours I spent stitching, drawing, and imagining. Instead, he smirked, tossed his head back, and said, "You? A fashion designer? Don't make me laugh. Stick to something realistic." For a moment, I froze. My cheeks burned. I wanted to defend myself, to shout, to cry, but instead I nodded politely, tucked my sketchbook under my arm, and walked away. Inside, though, something snapped. I promised myself I wouldn't let anyone's disbelief define me. Years went by. He thought I'd forgotten. He thought the timid girl who always listened, who never argued, who spent evenings quietly in her room would stay small forever. He never imagined I was taking notes on his every word, on every smirk, every eye roll, every dismissal. Those tiny acts of doubt became fuel. Every time he laughed at my ambitions, I stored it like firewood. I started small, quietly. I took night classes in design, learned to draft patterns perfectly, researched materials and trends. I interned at small boutiques, stitching sample pieces for almost nothing, sometimes sleeping on friends' couches, surviving on instant noodles and leftover coffee. No one cared to notice. No one thought I was serious, and that suited me perfectly. By the time I was 22, I had my first collection ready. It wasn't flashy, but it was refined. Every piece told a story, my story. The first fashion show I managed wasn't in a big hall or covered by magazines. It was in a community center with mismatched chairs and a shaky runway. But I didn't care. My models wore my designs with confidence, and I stood in the corner watching, feeling the warmth of creation and achievement. Then came the day he saw it. He had always been a friend of my parents, someone who had known me since childhood. He walked into the small hall, expecting nothing, and there I was, on the stage, explaining each design, the inspiration behind it, the late nights, the failures, and the triumphs. His smile froze, his eyes widened. The laugh that used to echo in my ears vanished. He didn't say anything. I didn't need him to. The room full of strangers applauded, cheered, and celebrated what he once thought impossible. I didn't shout, I didn't gloat, I let the success speak for itself. Later, I received messages from designers, boutique owners, and influencers wanting to collaborate. Every email, every phone call, every compliment reminded me that I didn't need his approval. I had already shut him down quietly, with work, with talent, with perseverance. 5 years later, I opened my own boutique. It was small, elegant, and filled with my designs. People from across the city came to see what I had built, to touch the fabrics I had carefully chosen, to witness a dream realized. One afternoon, he walked by, staring at the window display. He recognized me immediately. I smiled politely, nodded, and returned to arranging a new shipment of fabrics. He lingered for a moment, then turned away, silent this time. I realized in that moment that revenge doesn't always need confrontation. It doesn't need shouting or humiliation. Sometimes the quietest victories are the loudest. Every late night, every sacrifice, every stitch sewn in solitude was my answer. I had taken the laughter, the doubts, and the mockery and turned it into something tangible, something undeniable. Now, when young girls come into my boutique, wide-eyed and hesitant, I remember that 16-year-old girl clutching her sketchbook. I tell them, softly but firmly, don't let anyone laugh at your dreams. Work quietly, work persistently, and one day they won't laugh. They'll watch you soar. Because in the end, it wasn't about proving him wrong. It was about proving myself right. And that was the sweetest victory of all.